150.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is the 5th of November. It's the big day. It has arrived, and we are looking forward to a day or two where the clarity of what's going to happen in America is going to come to fruition. Are we going to see, as everybody's predicting, are we going to see Donald become the next president of America, or are we going to see Kamala prevail And is she going to hold on to her power? We're going to have to wait and see. I have a feeling that Donald is going to win, but what do I know? What do I know? We have a packed show, but like yesterday, this is a little bit like sitting in the waiting room for the dentist. We know we have to see the dentist. We don't want to see the dentist, and we don't know what's going to happen after we've been to see the dentist. But we are waiting with bated breath, and we do have some news to go through. We are going to talk about some X-Files. We're going to have a look at the Federal Reserve, probably going to cut on Thursday. That's in 2 days' time. We're going to look at a lot of the election stuff. What's going to happen to the price of Bitcoin? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? We're going to look at whether we're going to have a rally. What is going to happen in the election? We're then going to take a little bit of a look at a few different things. We're going to look at UK pensions. We're going to look at an AI project, believe it or not, a new one I've never heard of. And then we're going to finish with looking at Politify meme coins. Has Trump pumped yet? We'll have to wait and see. So all of that to get through. If you are new here, smash the like button, say hello in chat. Good morning, Hidden, Crypto Danny, and Bullish. Bull, where is everybody? Say hello. Let me know you're there. Poll question of the day. Are we going to see a rate cut this week? Yes, 100%. No, 0. Well, we'll have to wait and see. So that's where we are. That is where we are. And also, I have just remembered something I need to tell you. Tomorrow night is the Kronos night. We have a look at the Kronos chain project. We have a look at what's going on there. We'll have a look at Crow. We have a look at all of that stuff. We do this once a month. We shine a light on a new chain, a chain that we don't normally look at. We do a lot of talking about Solana and Ethereum and the layer 2s and all those kind of things. We very rarely talk about smaller chains. And Kronos Night is where we get to have a look at a few new projects, a few projects that you might not have heard of, a few NFT projects, the like of which you may never have heard of. That's tomorrow night at 7 p.m, 6 p.m. in the UK. We will be looking at that. And of course, it is the election special, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Good morning, KB. I hope you are well. Now, we're going to have a look at the markets. We are still hanging around $69,000 like a delinquent on the corner. We're waiting for the news of what's going to happen. According to Jim Cramer, again, you should always carry out inverse Cramer on any of your investment strategies. Cramer believes that the markets have priced in a Kamala victory. If that's the case, we're going to rip, okay? If Kamala doesn't win and Trump wins, we're going to rip. So he believes that we have priced in a Kamala victory. I don't know. The markets are still hanging around. We haven't really moved a lot since yesterday at all. Market cap hasn't really moved. The volume has gone up, but still, this day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we should be looking at 80 to 90 billion volume. We're at 73, so volume is still very low. Bitcoin dominance, ETH dominance, again, really not a lot to write home about. That is still creeping up for Bitcoin, but still not really a lot going on. It's a bit of a funny show. I don't know how to describe the show to you in the last 2 days. Today and yesterday, it's kind of, I can't be bullish. I can't be bearish. I can't give decent coins to buy. I can't give you my opinions because there's such a big event about to happen. It's very difficult. It's like going through the motions. It's like I said, it's like being in a dentist waiting room. But Bitcoin coming in at just under 69, Ethereum just over 2,400, BNB, again, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening because everybody is holding their breath. So there is little point in me looking at those. Let's see if we've got any gainers. Mog, Doge, Pop, Shib, Bonk. The memes have pumped again. Algorand is there. Hedera is there. Mu is up there. Dupe below $1 is absolutely, it's a travesty, an absolute travesty. 24-hour losers then. Again, not many. Pendle, Celestia, Helium, Arweave. You know what we should do? We should just listen to music. We should just listen to music and we should just do a Q&A. That's what I feel like we should be doing today, rather than giving any kind of insightful advice. Now, talking of insightful advice, I do like to tell you from time to time to look out for bears, okay? Bears are very dangerous creatures, and we don't want the bears to win. Imagine my surprise when you come downstairs in the morning and you see a bear in the fridge and it's trying to get hold of your crypto bags. It's looking, where have you hidden your Ethereum? Where have you hidden your Solana? It's got an accent, by the way, that I'm trying to do. It's terrible. Where have you hidden your XRP? It's looking around your house. Is it going to steal your crypto, or is it going to walk back out of your door? And there it goes, back into the night. That's what we want the bears to do. Remember, hold on to your hats. I've seen a few comments from people where the alts that they hold are getting wrecked. They will. When Bitcoin finally gets to wherever it's going to go to, 62% dominance, whatever it might be, your alts are getting wrecked. But you've stacked your alts in September and August, because when Bitcoin breaks down, you have such a short period of time for your alts that you should really be getting them now. And if you have, well done, but just hold on to your hats. That's why you have a diversified portfolio. If you are all in on Aero, if you are all in on Jupiter, if you are all in on any individual coin that isn't Bitcoin, you could very well see your portfolio fluctuate 10, 20, 30% in the next few days. Okay, just hold on. Okay, I know it's hard. Bitcoin got up to 74,000, then came all the way down to 49,000. You held on. We went up to 73. We're back now at 69. It's not a massive move down. The markets are just waiting for the next president of America. And then on Thursday, the FOMC rate cut. Now, imagine a scenario. What's the bullish scenario for this week? 0.5% rate cut and Donald Trump in the White House. That's the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario is Kamala winning and no rate cut. Okay? Whatever happens, it's going to fall between those 2 points. So Kamala and no rate cut, Trump and a 50 basis point rate cut. They're your options. So we can't say what's going to happen, but it's going to be one of those two things. Don't panic. Now, again, I've got a few of these because I don't want you taking my opinion and my opinion only. Okay? We have to look at other people. The one thing that the market hates is uncertainty. I don't think the market is falling because it's scared of Kamala. The market is falling because it's scared of uncertainty and odds are tightening. That's all. Once the results are in and they're in the rearview mirror, expect a rally. I totally agree. And I have a couple of these. Okay, I want you to understand that uncertainty is what causes volatility in the markets. What is holding us back is the electoral uncertainty between better and much better for crypto. 2 more days and this uncertainty will be gone for another 4 years. Should be added to the end of that. So again, John Brown, incredibly intelligent bloke. I don't think he's got that many followers. 83,000 followers. Seriously intelligent guy. He's one of the top traders out there, and he very rarely tweets. And when he does tweet, what he says is normally quite succinct and to the point. Bitcoin, in case price does visit lower levels post-election week, the daily 200 MA EMA is a place I'd be watching. That, for those of you that don't know, is 63,500, which is what I said yesterday. I think if we do come down, we will come down to the bull market support band. That's where I think we're going to go if we see a move to the downside. Nothing is guaranteed just yet. Just remember that. Again, we might never go to 63,500 ever again. We might be there tomorrow. Okay? I can't say. Now, moving on then. Public company Semler Scientific purchases an additional 47 Bitcoin for $3 million. Now, something interesting to point out is the more and more we see of these, then less and less Bitcoin will actually be bought as the price starts to accumulate in the next 5 to 10 years. And you'll see the likes of Semler Scientific. They might be buying one Bitcoin for $3 million in 5 to 10 years' time. And that will be big news. Whole coining will be big news in 5 to 10 years' time. Remember that. At the minute, we're seeing, 4,500, 14,500, 24,500 Bitcoin being bought a week by the ETFs, Michael Saylor, whatever. In the future, that's not going to be the case. In the future, there will be less and less Bitcoin trading for higher and higher amounts. So don't laugh when you see 47 Bitcoin being bought. It's a substantial number. There's only 450 a day being made, and one company bought 10% for $3 million. If 10 people, 10 companies bought 47 Bitcoin a day, that would be more than was mined in one day. So again, just be a little bit careful when you see these smaller and smaller amounts of Bitcoin. It's going to happen over time. It's just going to happen. Now then, there is one chart that we have missed off of yesterday's show, which I am going to put back in here, and that's the Ethereum Bitcoin chart or pair. You will see that we have started to wick below the trend line. Now, my trend line is not likely to be 100% accurate. Remember, it does go all the way back to 2015, and we are holding it. So if we're looking for a period where we think Ethereum is going to make a comeback, I think we are going to see this. Okay, I think we are going to see that. Okay, so my prediction for the Ethereum chart is by March we will have found the bottom. Actually, maybe that's a little bit too severe. I would say that is what's going to happen. Why? Because Ethereum is going to have a better 2025 than we think. Why? Because Trump wins. Lots of things get unlocked. Lots of cases get dropped. XRP is going to have a great bull run. Solana is going to get an ETF. And what's really holding back Ethereum for me is that the ETFs are not allowed to stake the Ethereum that's locked up. There is a rumor going around that if Trump wins, the new head of the SEC will allow Ethereum to be staked. If that happens, that will then pay a passive yield of maybe 3%, 2.5% per year. Minus the fees charged by the ETFs, you're probably going to gain 1.5% a year on your Ethereum, on top of the fact that it should be appreciating in value. So I would expect that to be happening from January next year, and we will see a move to the upside. So for those of you that don't know, Ethereum has been breaking down against Bitcoin for about, let's call it 2 years. 2 years, pretty much been breaking down, 2.5 years. And we are going to see that bounce. We're going to see all of the alts bounce, but it's not going to happen now. Okay, a lot of people, like I said, their alts are getting wrecked. You didn't buy them to sell today. You didn't buy them to sell in December. You bought them to hold for the bull run. Now, yes, you could have left all of your alts to one side and gone Bitcoin heavy or cash heavy and bought them all now. 2020 hindsight is beautiful. It's the best thing in the world. If you know what's going to happen, you know when to time it. Okay? But you don't. And believe you me, by December, your alts could all be 20, 30, 50% higher than they are now. So was it a good idea to get your alts packed in September? In my opinion, looking back from December back to September, I would say yes. Certainly by March next year, your alts will start to recover. We should have an alt season coming very shortly. Bitcoin broken 60% market dominance. I think it will go to maybe 62, and then it will start to fall off. Now, the Fed Reserve is likely to cut interest rates this week. There is Chairman Powell looking mightily stern. The Federal Reserve is widely expected to cut its rate by 1/4 percentage point on Thursday at the conclusion of the two-day meeting of the FOMC. The Fed funds rate influences borrowing costs, with a higher rate pushing up interest rates on all kinds of loans Federal officials have signalled that the central bank will gradually cut. Recent data has shown inflation to be tame while the labour market weakens. We've just seen the labour figures yesterday or the day before, encouraging the Fed to stick with gradual rate cuts. Now, if we get 0.5% now in November, there is a good chance we'll get 0.5% in December as well. Because I think they did say they were going to take out 1% by the end of the year, and I think this would take us to 0.75, so another 0.25%. Takes us to 1%, and away we go. So this is on Thursday. So we have a busy few days. Why do we have a busy few days? Well, of course, we have the elections today. We have Crypto Warehouse on Wednesday, which is equally as important as anything else. And then we have the rate cuts on Thursday. So it's a busy week. I'm sitting on my hands, Eugene. Exactly what you need to do. Sit on your hands. Good morning, Solo Sky. And good morning, Kishan. Just be ready to face any movement in the market. Again, it's going to get more and more volatile as the day goes on. The Oracle didn't stream last night because the Oracle is going to stream tonight. This is the election night. We are probably going to see some kind of volatility in about 3 or 4 hours' time when the American markets open. I don't know when the polling stations open. In America, they're probably, between 5 and 8 hours behind us. So the polls will probably open in about 2 or 3 hours. They've got the postal votes coming in as well. So it's all going to be chaos today. I would do what Eugene is suggesting. Sit on your hands. Please don't leverage trade today. It's going to get you wrecked. If you think Trump is going to win and you long Bitcoin today, one bit of news coming out about the exit polls and Kamala Harris leading in the exit polls can push Bitcoin to 63,000. And then when it's proven to be wrong, we could go to 72,000. But that doesn't matter because you've longed Bitcoin at 69,000 and been wiped out. That's why leverage is so dangerous in a volatile market. We could see a God candle today because Trump's predicted to win 300 seats or 300 whatever it is votes, but then it comes out he's only going to win 280, and that God candle all gets eaten up by the downside in an hour. Just be careful. In this election, the crypto vote could be the difference between winning and losing, says Logan Dobson, executive director of Stand With Crypto, an industry-funded non-profit. Remember the words. I can't remember who said this. If you want to get rich, start a charity. Now, I'm not going to say anything about that. I'm not going to make any comment about that, but it is true. If you want to be rich, start a charity. So why is this important? Because they believe there is something like 50 million Americans that hold crypto. Now, last time I checked, there was about 350 million, maybe more Americans, probably with the border situation, probably about 380. But let's say 1 in 8. 1 in 8 people in America hold crypto. Take out the old people, take out the young people. You might be looking at 1 in 5. 1 in 5 Americans hold crypto. So is that a policy that you should pursue? Absolutely. Okay. Would it be a win-win for the Democrat Party to be pro-crypto? Yes, it would. Is it a win-win for Republicans to support crypto? Yes, it would. So it should be a cross-party decision. Now, one thing that I haven't put in here is that there was a paper published yesterday. That paper was a cross-party paper, and it said that America should, in fact, hold Bitcoin as a national asset. Now, that came out probably within the last 24 hours. So although some of you might think Trump is talking through his backside when he talks about setting it as a strategic reserve asset, there has been an independent cross-party paper published which says that, yes, we should see that. Now, what has gone on there? Give me 1 second. Let me go and get the article because this link didn't work. Let's see if we can find it based on the title. We'll go with that one. That seems good enough. That seems good enough. 7 a.m. Eugene. So that's what, about midday our time, I think, some of the polls. 7 a.m. is quite early. I don't know if it opens at 7 a.m. in the UK or if it's 8. Might be 7 in the UK. It's chaos in the UK. You get your dog walkers, you get people sitting outside the polling stations offering people scones and cups of tea. If you want to see something quintessentially British, go to a little village in England on election day and look at what happens. There's fanfares. It's absolutely ridiculous. They should do it all year round, but they only seem to do it on polling day. Right then, Bitcoin hits 90,000 with Trump win, but falls to 50,000 if Harris prevails, says Bernstein. Bitcoin may immediately rise on the news of a Trump win or dip on a Democrat victory, but the asset will soar in 2025. Either way, absolutely agree with that comment. What I don't agree with is I think these are wild expectations. Okay, 90,000 with a Trump win, 50,000 with a Harris win. I think they're a little bit extreme, if I'm being honest. But let's see what Bernstein has to say. They are far more intelligent people than I. The price of Bitcoin will soar substantially in the next year, whoever wins. A new report by the global investment firm Gautam Chungani, Mahita Sapra, why did I start with the names? Sanskar Chindalia, that's probably been nailed, said in the report that the price of Bitcoin could hit a new all-time high of $80,000 to $90,000 in the next few weeks were Trump to win, and a win by his counterpart could see us go back down to 50,000. Now, the Oracle himself has said that by the end of December, we should be sitting at $84,000, $86,000. That is smack bang in the middle of this price prediction. Going to $50,000 would end me in terms of my motivation, and I don't think we'd go that low with Kamala Harris. What we would do is we'd see 50,000 if Kamala Harris came out and said, you know what, we're not going to do crypto. I think we're going to leave that. We're not going to bother with it. Then yes, that would be a huge issue. In our view, Bitcoin remains the most resilient within crypto to election outcome. The Bitcoin genie is out of the bottle and it's hard to reverse this course. The firm still projects the asset will hit 200,000 by the end of 2025. That's incredibly high for me. But again, these guys know more about it than I do. My conservative estimate is 110, 120,000. My probable outcome is about 140, and my absolutely top end is 180. Okay, I haven't just picked those numbers out of the air. I have a spreadsheet. I have lots of calculations based on diminishing returns plus ETFs, diminishing returns plus ETFs plus strategic reserve. Okay, so I don't just say these numbers randomly, but I'm not going to bring up a spreadsheet and send you all back to sleep at 11:30 on a Tuesday morning either. So 200,000 is a conservative estimate. That's, I mean, again, I could be wrong. If Trump comes out and says we're buying the million Bitcoin in the next year and a half, then certainly we'll see that. But I think over a longer term, the asset will appreciate probably a lot faster than many of us anticipate. I just think 12 months is a bit quick to get us to $200,000. Ex-President Donald Trump has come out and is explicitly pro-crypto, but he does want all Bitcoin mined in America. Why wouldn't he? You know, if I was the Prime Minister of the UK, I would come out and say that I wanted Bitcoin to be mined in the UK. It's not. I have a problem with people who have a problem with some policies to the left and the right. Being pro-American does not necessarily make you anti anything else. Okay, you want the miners to mine in America. Why? Because it's more jobs, it's more tax revenue for the American coffers. Of course, you want them to mine in America. He's also released a decentralized finance product. This is, in my opinion, this is the one huge mistake that he has made. World Liberty Finance should not be anywhere near Donald Trump or a sitting president. Okay, conflict of interests. He cannot really extrapolate himself. There's a word for it. I can't remember what it is. Something himself. He can't do that because it's his family setting it up. I think it's a terrible idea. However, Do I think we're going to see either of those two extremities in the near future? I don't think we're seeing $50,000. I do think we are likely to see $80,000 if Trump wins. Yes, I do see that. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Tariq. I hope you are well. Right, let's go and have a look at the Bitcoin chart. I thought I tidied up the Bitcoin chart, and then it all became messy again. Right then, so what do we have here? I have got this bull flag, which takes us to various targets. I have got 81,000 by the end of the year. I have 98,000 by the start of March. Okay, that's half the story. And then up here we have, if I bring that down a little bit now, we have 115,000 by May. Okay, of course it's not going to go up in a straight line. I'm just giving you some ballpark figures. Now, in the bottom right hand corner, you will see my Darren Brown price target, 74,000. We've touched it. We've touched it a couple of times. We wicked up to it in March, April. We've come back up to it at the beginning of November, end of October, and we've come back down again. But we're touching it. We're tickling that 74,000. So after the 74,000, and we might as well go through it now, my next target is 82,000 for Bitcoin, okay? The Oracle's got 84 to 86, a little bit higher than me. If Trump wins and we see a huge gale follow, then those $90,000 targets might not be too far off the mark. To go to 50,000 with Kamala is going to take us down to where? Let's go and borrow. Actually, let's stick another line in. So Kamala would take us to, you know what? I'll give them that. That would take us to the bottom of that range. The bottom of that range is currently 51,000. So that area there, with a Kamala victory and no rate cut, that isn't a million miles away. It sounds it and it looks it, but that's what, 30% dip? How many times have we talked about 30% dips over the last 6 months? It's possible, but I think breaking below that line and wicking down, I mean, we might as well give up. We might as well be talking about 43,000. But I just don't see it. I don't see us getting down that low. Just give me 1 second. The advert is playing. There we go. So yeah, okay, 51,000. But that would be one mighty wick to the downside. That would be 30%, pretty much exactly 30% to the downside, which I just don't see. Has been known to be wrong. Anyway, all I would say is at this moment in time is let's not panic too much about the price of Bitcoin. In fact, if we could all go to sleep right now and wake up on Friday morning, how many of you would take that just to get rid of this stress? Because I know a lot of people get stressed about crypto. I think by summer there will be a recession. That is what Powell is trying to avoid. He's trying to avoid the recession, and he wants a soft landing. So if there is a recession, expect it to be a soft recession. I think Trump coming in is going to give a fillip to the markets, and a fillip to the markets. Rate cuts will come in. They might see it off. Who knows? People have been predicting a recession for what now, about 3 years since the pandemic, and we've come really close to the definition of a recession without getting it. I don't know. Finally then, last bit of election news is Tom Lee, market set to rally into year end regardless of election winner. Again, I'm kind of on this page. I think Bitcoin doesn't care who wins, but the price does. What does that mean? I think it means the difference between a $75,000 and a $90,000 end of year Bitcoin. So I still think we're going to go up. Kamala Harris can't really affect the miners. She can't really affect the supply shortage. She can't really affect the ETF demand. She can't really affect anything specifically to do with Bitcoin. But what she can do is she can hinder the likes of Solana and Ethereum and XRP, if we're going to talk about ETFs. So, yeah. The markets are setting up to rally into 2025, no matter who wins the election. In a new interview on CNBC, it says that while the election has caused some trades to reverse, it's also placed cash on the sidelines and ready to boost markets when the uncertainty has passed. I'm bullish only in the sense that election uncertainty has caused people to de-risk and cash to sit on the sidelines, but the fundamentals have been good. Earnings seasons have been very good. The Fed is dovish, and I don't think it's going to matter who ends up in the White House, even if it's a split Congress or a sweep. I think markets do pretty well either way. It sets up for a really good rally into year end, but when it starts in November is just when we do not know. So when asked about Warren Buffett's recent moves to hold more cash, he says the chairman will likely have to rethink his position next year when rates go down and holding cash becomes more costly. Again, totally agree with that. What I would say is we've had Biden in power for 3.5 years. It hasn't been too bad for crypto. Okay, hasn't been too bad. And having Kamala Harris for the next 4 years will not be too bad. Okay, it will carry on its merry way. 120, 140,000 happy days. Okay, it's not that Kamala Harris is bad. It's the strategy that Trump is going to pursue with crypto that is going to push us on. That's the difference. Again, with Biden, we've seen a lot of positive things in the world. We've seen a lot of negative things in the world. Trump, we're going to do the same thing. We'll see a lot of positive and negative things. Kamala will see a lot of positive and negative things. The China-Taiwan situation, that's something that needs to be resolved pretty quickly. And again, the question you have to ask yourself is, who would you want to talk to China? Who would you want to talk to Russia? Would it be Kamala? Would it be Trump? Let's move on then. Enough of the election. OmniGen, an open source AI model that lets you edit images conversationally. Okay. Now, we spoke yesterday a little bit about FET and how the narrative has gone away from AI. The narrative may have gone away, but I think as a market, it's still something you should be fairly bullish on. It's very new market, but I think it still falls within this bull run. It's not a market like gaming, for example. I just don't think is a narrative of the 2025 bull run. DeFi, we had the DeFi summer. We've had the NFT summer. We've had, what else did we have that was bullish? Well, I think this time around, we're going to have the real world assets, the DePINs, the AI narratives, the AI meme coin narratives. I think they're going to be the big ones, I'd say. OmniGen is a new unified model from Beijing researchers, and it collapses traditionally siloed AI image tasks into a single powerhouse system, aiming to transform creative workflows across industries. And I can guarantee the majority of things that you see on these screens are AI generated nowadays, including the majority of our thumbnails. So this is Josh Quitner having a casual meeting with Vitalik. Now, again, what a fine pair of dudes. They've never met, much less the same place. This image is a fake, which isn't surprising. The model is OmniGen, and it's a lot more than just an image generator. Instead, it focuses on image editing, context understanding, letting users tweak their generations by simply chatting to the model rather than loading standalone third-party tools. It's capable of reasoning and understanding commands. Researchers at the Beijing Academy of Artificial Intelligence have finally released the weights, the executable AI models, IP adapters, implanting models, so on. OmniGen functions as a comprehensive creative suite. This is not about shilling you. OmniGen, by the way, I've never heard of them before this. I'm just going through this because I think people don't quite understand the speed at which AI is moving. Okay. Now, first of all, AI is not a robot. It's not a robot that can sit there and think from itself. It basically has access to a large amount of information, and it deciphers that information into an answer for your question. So we're not quite at Arnie Schwarzenegger Terminator yet. That's ASI and more down that path. This is more about giving it enough information for it to give you an answer to your question. So it's not quite where we are. But just think back to ChatGPT. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, ChatGPT came out, maybe. You typed in a command, it gave you the answer. People were using it to do their university and doctorate theses. We're now at the stage where you can sit here and talk to an AI model that will create images based on what you've said. Think about Star Trek, The Next Generation, or even Star Trek, the original one, where they'd sit there and they would say, computer, show me the path to XYZ. And the computer would go off and find the nearest path to the nearest star system, okay? It's 2024, we're already there, okay? So this is an example of how far AI has gone and how fast it's moving. Now, would I use this? Absolutely. So it's open source, you can run it locally, you need a few free generations thanks to Hugging Face, the world's largest open source community repository, so they can use it to test the model. Those who don't want to bother can go to this place and you can go and download it. I would recommend anybody that's never used AI in any way, shape or form to go and try it. Go online and go to any website, type in free AI image maker, go and type in an image. Go and type in, what would Crypto Warehouse look like if it was a palace? And it would bring you back a beautiful looking palace, probably with a few Bitcoin logos everywhere. Okay, these images here, this is what it can do, and it does it in seconds. It's absolutely incredible the rate at which it is going. Now think about the rate at which it's going. It's gone from a text entry system to these images in probably, let's say, 2 years. In 2 years' time, you're going to have entire movies made out of AI. Okay? Now, yes, we have problems, power, we have problems with GPUs, we have problems with processors. Yes, we know about all those problems. We need 10 or 20 times the amount of processing power that we have and chips that we have to do all of the things that we want to do. I get all of that. But when it comes down to brass tacks, this is going to be so different, even in 12 months to where we are today. So if you do not hold any AI tokens, what you need to do is something very simple. And I'm not going to tell you which ones to buy, especially on the day of the election. But what I would say to you is you go over to CoinMarketCap. You type in AI. You go to AI and big data. Okay, they've started to make a lot more categories. It's actually quite nice. And it will show you the top AI tokens to buy. Personally, anything in the top 5 to 10 coins there is something that you should be looking at. Okay, NEAR, ICP, Bitenza, not a big fan of that one to be fair. ASI, Render, Injective, The Graph, Theta. Now, again, do your own research. They don't all do the same thing. Okay, they don't all have the same partners. Some work with bigger players than others. But AI, for me, is a huge industry, and at some point it may very well overtake the majority of crypto projects in terms of market cap, and it will become its own industry. But you can get in on some of these tokens and you can make a good return, I would imagine, on them. Here we go with another advert. Okay, now we're not going to stay on this for very long. What time is it? We've got ages. Fantastic. Right, let me read some comments before I move into talking about this. Who is here today? Oh, don't forget to smash the like button. Very important. Summer there'll be a recession, maybe a little panic will do. I do aluminium fabrication through government contracts, and next year's looks like a major slowdown on our contracts. Absolutely. Again, I think they're going to do everything in their power to try and slow down any recession. Okay, I think across the world, prices have gone up too quickly and too far for wage inflation to keep up. A good example of this, and I'm going to give you a specific example, and that is fresh salmon. Okay, fresh salmon before the pandemic was about £6.50. Let me do it in dollars. It was about $10 for fresh salmon for what we would buy. During the pandemic, and probably a year after the pandemic, that became about $18. Okay, today, as we sit here, it's now $11, and that's fresh. So goods that are fresh, the deflation on those prices is a lot quicker than the likes of tinned goods. Okay, that's why I gave you the example of salmon, fresh salmon. Now, the problem is you can put your prices up as much as you want, but people will stop buying. So there's an elasticity to prices. And I think America was another example where people wanted to build wooden sheds. The cost of timber went up 1,000% or something ridiculous. Okay, there are supply chain issues that were happening during COVID and the pandemic. Yes, there were supply chain issues, but there's also been profiteering going on as well. And a lot of companies have profited from the pandemic by, instead of the cost of making a good going up 10%, they put it up by 25. And we've seen that throughout the world, not just America or the UK or Europe, but everywhere. But the cost of things is coming down. Olive oil is another example. Olive oil for a litre, for me, was $15 6 months ago. I now bought a litre of olive oil this week for $8. Okay, there are other circumstances with olive oil. There's bad seasons and things like that, but there was also profiteering going on. So we are seeing costs of goods coming down. The question is, can those costs of goods come down fast enough to stop companies from dropping into the red, making people unemployed, and pushing up the cost to the country of those unemployments and lower tax receipts? That's the balance. Now, cutting interest rates makes it cheaper for companies to service the current loans and get new loans, which means new equipment, cost saving, whatever it might be. So it's a very fine balance. You're spinning so many plates, and let's say something happens with Taiwan in April next year. It's going to throw everything out of kilter again. Everything's going to go out of kilter. That's the next black swan. Black swans don't have to be completely unforeseen events. Okay, they can be events that you can see in the future, but you just don't think, or you don't know when they're going to happen. That can still be a black swan rather than a grey swan. So what happens if Trump comes in February? Markets rally. We see $100,000 Bitcoin in February or March, and then something happens in Taiwan, and all of a sudden, all of the markets will absolutely tank, because we have the Middle East, we have Eastern Europe, and then we have Taiwan. It's not the fact that it's going on, it's the uncertainty to the markets. So those things can affect us as well. And like Eugene says, if Trump comes in and the aluminum, as you call it over there, the aluminum industry starts to suffer, Trump will have to do something to give it a bolster. Now, very quickly then, I've still got loads and loads of time. Aluminum per ton is double what it costs 4 years ago. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely incredulous, isn't it? If you are new here, smash the like button and subscribe. Please do us a favour. It's the election day. We are streaming tonight, and we're streaming twice tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big one. Well, it's the big one for the Kronos chain as well. We have the Kronos night, November the 6th, 7 p.m, 6 p.m. UK. We're going to be talking about all things Kronos chain. So if you are new, smash the like button. We do stream as many times as we can in a week, and we do try and keep as much of the information that's out there we do try and keep as much of it into the show as possible. So what's this headline? Very simple. UK pension fund allocates 3% to Bitcoin. Why is this important? Because this is the future of pension funds. The 3% allocation is higher than a lot of American pension funds are putting into their pension pots and their 401s, whatever, 401ks, whatever it might be. So trustees are increasingly looking for innovative solutions to future-proof their schemes in the face of economic challenges. Our commitment to engaging with emerging innovative technologies means we can ensure that trustees remain at the cutting edge of investment solutions. All very good. The headline there is what matters. Now, pensions, for those of you that don't know, or have never cared to look, if you look at who owns a large percentage of the S&P or the FTSE, or even the German, the French, the Nike stock markets, if you look at who owns a large percentage of all of those, you will find it is pension funds. Now, when you retire, and you retire during a recession, your pension is going to be a lot smaller than if you retire during the boom times, because your pension is linked to them buying stocks and funds to fill their pension pots. The 3% into Bitcoin is incredible. Now, imagine this is one pension scheme. Imagine if 1,000 pension schemes around the world all do the same thing. Now, imagine that each one of them buys 1 Bitcoin a day to add to their pension funds. Okay, that's 1,000 Bitcoin a day. There's 450 being made. The ETFs are buying 4,000 to 5,000 a day. There's only 450 being made. MicroStrategy is going to buy $42 billion of Bitcoin. There's only 450 being made. The reason I keep saying that is very simply, there will not be enough Bitcoin in the future to service the requirements of pension funds, ETFs, private blue chip companies, billionaires, nation states. Saudi Arabia gets involved, America gets involved, China, Russia, UK already owns 180, 200,000 Bitcoin, whatever it might be. There's not enough Bitcoin to go around. So what has to happen, very simply, the price of Bitcoin has to get to a price where those diamond hands sell 500,000, 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, obviously way out into the future. But the point of the matter is, there's a supply shock coming, and I'm going to keep telling you about it. This is one pension scheme getting in at $65,000 to $70,000 now for that 3%. The question is, when is that supply shock going to happen? Or are we going to see a case of, as the price starts to go up, all of the Bitcoin OGs that have held from $1,000, it hits $100,000. Do we see massive sell pressure at $100,000, or do they hold? Do they sell a small amount? So this is the buckaroo game I tell you about all the time. The buckaroo, all of these different pension schemes, ETFs, they're just putting another piece on that donkey. And at some point in the future, that donkey's going to kick and everything's going to go flying up in the air. Okay? We don't know when, but it's going to happen. Now then, very quickly, we are going to go and look at these meme coins as well, because I have given myself plenty of... There we go. Thank you, Hidden. Thank you, Tariq. I've been watching chat. Yeah, no idea why that happens. Absolutely no idea. It happened when I alt-tabbed, so I probably broke it myself. Right then, this is what we're going to go and have a look at. This is to do with the meme coins. Trump-themed meme coins rally 30% ahead of US elections. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, basically, I've been saying that you should hold meme coins until now. basically. And the reason being is it's a punt. Okay, we don't know how well they're going to do. Okay, we did pick two. I'm going to go and bring them up, and then we're going to talk about them as well. Yes, Tariq, I am still here. Let me try that again. I'm still here. I'm still alive. I tell you what I do need, Tariq. I need a shave. That's what I do need. Right then. Very quickly, if I type in... Got to do this very carefully. Here we go. Political memes. Right. So these are the two things I was going to show today. Now, let's leave them there for 1 second. Politify. Meme coins saw Trump-themed meme coins go up 30%. That's a cracking mask. I should get one of them for tomorrow night, shouldn't I? Just hours away from the US presidential elections, Politify tokens have seen a remarkable boost. The sector has experienced a near 10% surge in the last 24 hours, with Trump-themed meme coins leading the way. Following the recent performance, some investors forecast a massive rally for these tokens in the coming days. The sector gained popularity after several meme coins inspired by US politicians registered a massive performance earlier this year. Some tokens had their market cap break 100 million. Cryptocurrencies like MAGA and Doland Trump hit $17 and $1.50 marks, respectively, as their all-time highs, fueled by the crypto-friendly statement. Most of these currencies are now down. They are indeed. Now the election's just hours away. The sector is soaring again, surging 10% in the last 24 hours. Trump has seen a 26% surge in the last 24 hours, trading above 380. MAGA is up 32%. Now, again, this is a gamble. Okay, let's not make any bones about it. These are gamble trades. Now, I can't click on them, it will kill the stream. But what I will do is I will go and run through very quickly the only coins that I would be looking at, seriously looking at, as being ones you could invest in. And that is MAGA Trump and MAGA MAGA, okay? Now, they're both down considerably. Why are they down? Because I think Kamala, as you can see, she's up 8.1, 8.2%. MAGA is down 10%. Probably something to do with the chart that shows that it's getting closer. The election is narrowing. The odds are narrowing according to the experts. So we're likely to see a correction. Now, I also said with MAGA that you should be looking at buying that below $5 and not above $5. And I said that because I think it went up to about $8 when there was the issue with Trump and his red ear that happened. Very careful what I say. And I made a video and I said, don't buy that coin. It's too high. Wait for it to go below $5. We are way below $5. How long do we have left? 5 minutes. Let's have a look. We'll go and have a look in here. We'll go and have a look at Trump. That's what we'll go and have a look at. Now, the reason I'm going to show you this is the market's going to be volatile. If he wins, is it that one? I can never find the right one, you know that. This is the one, okay. Now, we haven't looked at this since July, so just bear that in mind. Okay, let's move that along here. And that needs to come down all the way down there. Okay, so that's where we've had with our coins. Now, you can see that we have bounced from $1 and $1.80 it came all the way down to. That was in September. We've wicked. Look how many times we have got towards the bottom and the top of the bull market support band, and it never broke it. Now, what do I think is going to happen? And remember, bear in mind, this is a gamble. Peter's arrived just in time for a gamble, okay? This is not financial advice. I am not even going to tell you to do your own research, okay? If Trump wins, that yellow line at $5 is where I think it will break, okay? We're on the weekly chart. Let's go to the daily. There we go. So that's where I think it will go. I think it'll go to $5. I think it'll break the bull market support band. If it breaks the bull market support band, what would I do? I would sell it. I would take my 50% profit and I would go and buy Australian beer. Just popped in to say hello and see how everyone is. I don't think even though I don't want any more comments. Well, welcome to you, sir. I hope you are well. I hope you're looking forward to the election. I am going to be trying to do an American-style dinner. We've got a wood fire grill, and I am going to try and do some kind of meat concoction. So if you're a vegan, I apologize. I'm going to try and do some kind of chicken wings. I'm going to try and do some kind of what are they now? Pinchitos, which aren't really American, but it still gets cooked on a barbecue. I'm going to burn a load of meat, and I'm going to eat a load of meat, and I might even go and buy a bottle of beer to have for tonight while I'm watching the Oracle. So I think we could go to $5 on Trump. Again, of the tokens that are there, the only other one is MAGA. MAGA has a really small market cap, but again, you could see a huge pump in that coin. And again, we're talking about coins which, see, I've even got my price targets on there. Can you see that? Buy below 20,000, profit at 40,000. Okay, so they're my targets. God knows when I made this a long time ago, I'd imagine. Okay, unlike, there we go. Unlike Trump, this is actually on top of the bull market support band. So what I would do is I would have that target. Let's go and put the targets in there so everybody can see. So again, now that looks a long way away. I get that. But you have to bear in mind, this is only a $70 million market cap coin. If somebody comes in and buys $300,000 or $250,000 of this, it's going to wick, okay? So buy below 20,000, profit at 40,000. That's exactly what I haven't changed my opinion. If it goes up here, bear in mind, that's only going to give it a $150 million market cap. It's not a lot. So again, these are huge gambles. I am not condoning buying MAGA. I'm not condoning buying Trump. What I'm saying is, if you're going to gamble today, don't leverage your Bitcoin. Don't leverage your bags. Don't take a gamble on anything important. If you've got $20 or $30 in your account and you think, you know what, I think Trump's going to win, I'm going to go and buy a meme coin for Trump, then those would be the two I would pick, not financial advice. I'd go for MAGA and Trump. Very important thing to point out, I don't hold either of them, okay? I'm not doing this to get you to buy it, to pump the bags. It doesn't work like that. I'd need to be altcoin daily, or I'd need to be crypto banter for that to actually make any difference. For the fact there's probably 100 people watching me now, 200 people watching me now, that's not going to make any difference now, is it? But I don't hold either of them. All I'm saying is if you're going to have a gamble, this could go to $5. That would give it a market cap of 230 million. That would go to 150 to, no, that would probably go to about 180 million. So they're not small, they're not big coins. That's my play for this bull run. And listen, if it goes here, sell it. The point of this is, stick $25 in, stick $50 in, make $25 profit, go and buy yourself a pizza and celebrate Donald Trump winning. That's all I'm saying. I will buy back in December again. I pray for Trump to win, not the laughing galah. Indeed, I always try and say laughing galah in an Australian accent. So that is it from the show. It's 12:01. Remember, two things. Please don't leverage trade today. It's super dangerous. We don't know what's going to happen. The exit polls could be wrong. They had Hillary winning during the exit polls, and then Trump won. The last election, chaos ensued. Okay, it's going to be all over the place. Now, there is one other thing I need to mention very quickly at the end. There is something called handing over of the keys. That is where you accept defeat. And if Trump wins, they have to hand over the keys. Okay? If Trump doesn't win and Kamala wins, Trump has to admit defeat as well. Obviously not handing over the keys because he's not there. That should go smoothly. But again, it's America, isn't it? It's absolutely America. We always say some parts of America are more basket case than others. Politicians, they're just the same. So, good luck. I will see you twice tomorrow, 11 a.m. And I will see you for this, which will be tomorrow night as well. We're going to go through the election results and some meme coins. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for showing up, Peter. Thank you to everybody else. And take care, Tariq, and everybody else that's in chat. Kishan, Mags, the lot of you. Take care, everybody. See you in the morning. And the Oracle is back tonight, don't forget.